Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day for the Salesforce Admins webinar, Essential Habits for New Admins. My name is Mark Baseman, and I'm an admin evangelist here at Salesforce, and I'm excited to help you get started. Before we get started, I want to remind you that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, so please make all of your purchasing decisions based on current features and functionality. And just a quick reminder that we are where you are, so please get social with us. You can follow us on Twitter at Salesforce Admins, no I, and hashtag AwesomeAdmin. And you can connect with other awesome admins using the hashtag AwesomeAdmin. We're Salesforce Admins on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And don't forget about our website, admin.salesforce.com. And just a reminder that this webinar is being recorded and the video will be posted to YouTube and the webinar recap page at the URL here. We know that you'll have questions as we go through the webinar today, so we want you to join the conversation in the Salesforce Admins webinars group in the Trailblazer community. The fastest way to go there is by the bit.ly link here, or you can search for Salesforce Admins webinars in the Trailblazer community. You don't need to wait until the end to ask questions. We have folks standing by to answer them now. Today we'll be talking about what is an awesome admin, hint, it's you, habits for learning, connecting, and leading, some actionable next steps, and time permitting we'll answer those questions that you've posted in the Trailblazer community. So as Salesforce admins, we're at the center of our organizations. We help translate business requirements into technology systems. We're the ones that can map every business process, seek out inefficiencies, and help tie different departments together, with data driving our decisions. Admins are at the heart of making every organization successful. That's why it's called an awesome admin, and you are an awesome admin. The goal of developing good habits isn't to add more things to do to your schedule. Instead, it's to help you be deliberate in your actions so that you can be more effective. It's like choosing to take the stairs instead of an elevator, or having salad instead of fries. The admin habits we'll cover today will help you keep in touch with your users, stay aligned with your organization, be more informed, more connected, and ensure your skills are up to date. Our first set of habits are all about learning. We want to make sure every awesome admin is continually learning new things through earning Trailhead badges, getting certifications, and more. Why is continued learning important? Well, we want to make sure that you're always growing your skills, which can give you access to other opportunities that you might not have expected. It can also improve your quality of life, and it's always good to retain the beginner's mind, the practice of looking at things with fresh eyes, and learning helps you do that. Continued learning is at the core of what a Salesforce admin does, so I want to make sure that you know about Trailhead. Trailhead is the fun way to learn Salesforce and to hone your skills. Using your Developer Edition or Admin Playground, you can log in, complete challenges, and Trailhead checks to see if you've accomplished them correctly. With Trailhead, you can get hands-on and learn by doing. We have badges and skill level and every role. Admins, business users, developers, it's all there for you. We also have trails that help you understand and roll out the Salesforce Lightning experience, as well as manage change at your organization. Here we can see Salesforce MVP Jennifer Lee proudly displays her badges on her Trailblazer community profile. Take a look at the skills graph showing what skills she's demonstrated by earning all those badges. And others in the community can easily find ways to connect with her. It's all right there. Trailhead is the learning destination for you. It's the fun way to learn Salesforce. And at the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a custom trail mix so you can learn these habits for yourself. Your learning journey with Trailhead can take many paths. You can earn badges like I just talked about, and you can do that anytime, nights, weekends, lunchtime, whenever works for you. You can also earn a super badge. Super badges show that you can take what you've learned and apply it to advanced, real-world business requirements. You can also learn in a more typical classroom setting if you prefer that environment with our incredible instructors, and you can earn one of our 25 Salesforce certifications by taking a proctored exam. And of course, you can also learn from other members of the Trailblazer community, which I'll talk more about in a bit. You can attend a local user group, a Salesforce Saturday, or another community event. And when you get there, you can share your expertise with others and give back to the community. Continuous learning also means staying up to date with the latest releases. Salesforce releases 3 times per year, and that means keeping up with those changes. The best way to do this is to go to the release website and check out the release notes. You can also watch videos of product managers and Salesforce evangelists talking about the latest features in the Release Readiness Live videos. And don't forget to sign up for a pre-release org so that you can see the newest release features in action before those changes come to your instance. Finally, be sure to schedule time with your developers to look at what sandboxes you might need refreshed so that your developers are working in the latest release. Continuous learning also means staying on top of new apps and functionality. So it's key that you take time to explore the App Exchange. Make it a goal to install at least one app in your developer edition or sandbox that can be beneficial to your organization. Knowing which apps to install or try out can come from conversations with your users. Maybe you find out that your project management team is looking for a project tracking app, or people could use an electronic signature tool. These are all apps that you could try out yourself and demo for those teams. The App Exchange also has a great newsletter that you can sign up for. This newsletter is packed with great information about the newest apps, webinars that the App Exchange team is hosting, as well as recent feedback. Knowing how to extend Salesforce functionality will pay dividends in spades. First, don't worry, you'll get this checklist sent to you with the slides, so you don't have to remember all these. So let's review these concrete next steps. Block time for learning and earning badges every week. Subscribe to the Salesforce Admins podcast on our website. And install a sample application from the App Exchange. Follow these steps, and that's how you'll start learning. Our next set of habits are all about connecting. No admin is an island, and we want to make sure that you're connecting internally with your users and externally with the larger Salesforce community that's there waiting for you. Why is connecting important? Well, first, you can see how people are really using Salesforce day to day, not how they say that they're using it. You'll also get out of your bubble and expand your horizons, both within your company and beyond. And of course, you'll be able to meet with the larger Salesforce community, both online and in person. And this can allow you to find your Salesforce mentor who can help guide you in your journey. As an admin, you're the Salesforce ambassador for your organization. So it's really important that you engage with your users regularly and see how they're actually using Salesforce day to day. Here on the Evangelist team, we like to use the term SABWA, which means Salesforce Administration by Walking Around. SABWA doesn't have to be complicated. You can go to work 15 minutes early and grab a cup of coffee with one of your users, sit with them at their desk, and see how they use Salesforce and how they interact with the technology. But you don't have to come into work early to do SABWA. Just carve out time to meet with at least one person and observe them using the system. I promise you'll be surprised at what you see. We can also use the power of Chatter to connect with people. If you haven't already, set up some Chatter groups. You could set up a Salesforce support Chatter group and add all of your users. This is a safe environment for your users to ask you questions and get answers. It's also a great way for you to share communication with your users and give them one place for any files related to Salesforce. You could also create a group for your team or department, like a sales operations or fundraising chatter group. This can help move conversations from email to chatter, which has the added bonus of being able to have a historical record that's not buried in someone's inbox. And when new people join the team, you can add them to the chatter group, and they can see all the history right there in the chatter group. One of our most popular groups here at Salesforce is the Airing of Grievances group. You can guess what that one's about. So Chatter is a great tool for you and your organization. As a Salesforce admin, you need to connect with stakeholders across the company. Stakeholders are individuals in your organization that have a vested interest and business process in Salesforce. So a stakeholder could be your sales manager or fundraising manager if you're using the Sales Cloud, your marketing manager if you're using Marketing Cloud, or your customer service manager if you use Service Cloud. In that meeting, you'll want to share feedback from your users, demos of AppExchange apps, and understand any business changes that might impact you and by extension that might impact Salesforce. You also want to communicate with your company's leadership team. Be sure to set a regular meeting so that you can discuss new features and functionality and articulate the benefits of those features to the business. This is also a good time to discuss any communication plans and highlight some success stories. Connecting with fellow Salesforce admins can help you understand new features and solve problems together. We have a ton of Salesforce user groups all around the world that allow you to connect with admins just like you. I like what Lena has to say in that user groups are a place where we can come together as a community and share our successes. Sign up and attend a Salesforce user group meeting near you. You can find your user group at salesforceusergroups.com. I'm an active member of the Boston user group, and I love it. Being a Salesforce admin means you are not on this journey alone. We have a vibrant Trailblazer community with 2.6 million friends. I like what Amanda has to say here about the community. As a solo admin, she's able to get answers quickly. You can log in with your Salesforce credentials and set up your profile right now, or at least after this webinar. The Trailblazer community is a great place to stay connected with other admins, ask questions and get advice, both about Salesforce and also even about your career. One of my personal favorite groups is the Nonprofits Using Salesforce group. It's a great place to find out about how nonprofits are working with Salesforce too. In addition to connecting with other admins, the Trailblazer community gives you the ability to tell us what features you want to see on the platform. With the Idea Exchange, you can see what ideas other admins have submitted and vote them up. This is how our product teams decide what features make it into the releases. But that's not all. The Trailblazer community has links to all of the documentation that you need. And if you're like me and have many questions, we have a vibrant answers community where experienced Salesforce admins like Steve Molis answer thousands and thousands of questions. If you have questions or best practices to share, there is a place on our community for you. So these are the action steps to get you going. Connect with your local user group, join the Admin Trailblazers and Webinars group, and schedule a date with one of your users for next week. Follow these steps, and that's how you'll start connecting. Our final group of habits are all about leading. All admins are leaders at their companies, no matter where you live on the org chart, and we want to make sure that you're demonstrating leadership at your organization. Why is leadership important? Well, being a leader at your organization means you'll get to influence change at your company, which will then lead to enhanced visibility for you and your role. This will likely lead to growth, possibly growth in your position, or formally leading a team if you don't already, and you'll be able to serve as a role model for the rest of the company. When I think of leaders, I think of them being really well informed. And as a Salesforce admin, you need to be well informed about your Salesforce instance. These tools can help you do exactly that. So we have these tools that are made especially for admins, the Salesforce Optimizer and Security Health Check. Optimizer is the fastest and most effective way to get prioritized insights and recommendations of best practices to help you act on those insights of your Salesforce instance. This helps you maintain your customizations, decrease the technical debt that most companies have, increase your own productivity as well as your end users, and drive adoption within your company. Security Health Check helps you determine how well your Salesforce org meets security standards, reduces your security risk, and limits data loss by suggesting specific areas to improve security on your org. This might be my favorite habit, which is to maintain a clean org. I like to make this fun by bringing teams together for a fun eat and delete luncheon. This is where you gather members of the same department for lunch, which means this can be in person or virtual. And over lunch, you can review page layouts, list views, reports, dashboards, other things. As admins, we know that users and departments create a lot of things, and often some of them are only used once in Salesforce. But all of this clutter can make it really difficult for someone to find what they need when they need it. By hosting a quarterly luncheon with each department, you get to spend time reviewing those things and getting rid of ones that aren't needed anymore. Oh, and by the way, you get to have lunch with your users. That's always great. And of course, we need to build and foster a relationship with our IT organization if you're not already in the IT department. The first step in doing so is to introduce yourself and have a meeting where you show Salesforce Security Health Check. So I talked about Health Check a little bit earlier, but with Health Check, you can quickly see if your password policies align with the organization, as well as discuss ways to keep your users and Salesforce even more secure. In addition, you should be included in conversations about network access so you can stay informed. You need to be the trusted advisor for Salesforce, and with Health Check, you can keep the IT organization up to date on Salesforce password, session, and login policies. Also, be sure to share trust.salesforce.com with your IT department so they can get the latest updates from Salesforce. Maintaining a great relationship with IT means you and your organization can be aligned on the same goals. Setting up a governance process is not only a best practice, but it's a great way to connect different departments in your organization to discuss feature requests and business processes. This is an opportunity for you to lead the discussion on how customer information flows through your organization, as well as showcase new features and apps that increase productivity. I will say, as someone who led a governance committee at a nonprofit, this is a great way to get different departments talking to one another, where maybe they don't have another opportunity to do so. So these are your action steps. Run Health Check and Optimizer. Identify your key stakeholders, get on their calendars, and schedule that eat and delete lunch. Follow these steps, and that's how you'll start leading. So we've covered a lot of information in this webinar. So to help you get started, I've created this combined checklist for you to follow. So I'm going to quickly review all these things. Block a fixed learning time on your calendar. Subscribe to the Admins podcast. Install a sample app from the App Exchange. Schedule a time for you to meet with a user next week. Join a local community group. Join the collaboration groups in the Trailblazer community. Hopefully you've already done that one. Run the Health Check. Run the Optimizer. Identify key stakeholders at your organization to meet with. And schedule an eat and delete luncheon. These are things you can do after this webinar finishes so that you're practicing good Salesforce admin habits. And keep going. We also have a trail mix on Trailhead just for you. Make sure to bookmark this so you can get started right away. And the trail mix has items for each of the sections that we've already talked about. And we have even more resources to help you become an awesome admin. You can join more of our webinars, of course, the Q&A here in the webinar group, and the slides are available at that bit.ly URL. We want to know what you thought of today's webinar, so please definitely fill out the survey. There is the link. And of course, don't forget, we have great blog posts and podcasts at admin.salesforce.com. I think we have a little bit of time for Q&A, so I am just going to pop into the admin webinar group. Give me just a moment. Let's see what's come in here. Shira asks, do you get notifications about the releases, meaning an email? You absolutely do. So you will definitely get notified about new releases via email. Also, in Salesforce itself, you can see we will do a release webinar. So you'll get notified about new release webinars that are available. Also, if you keep an eye on the admin website, admin.salesforce.com, we will absolutely have information about new releases. The release to come is the spring release, and there are all sorts of, spring release has released. I believe the summer release is the next release, and you can get all sorts of information there. In terms of scheduling, in terms of scheduling time with someone who can help you kind of work through modules as you go through them, that's something that you can post in the admin group in the Trailblazer community. But really, the way that works, generally speaking, is that you work through the modules on your own time, and then if you have questions, you can actually post right in the Trailblazer community. I guarantee you that folks have completed the best place to go there. So that, I would say, folks have usually done many of these webinars before. All right, I think that's all the questions that I see here that have not been answered. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you found today's webinar useful. And again, please let us know what you thought.